Almost everyone with a smartwatch thinks they understand their heart. It beats faster when you run and slower when you sleep. It is simple, familiar, and incredibly easy to track. But lately, another metric has quietly taken over the health and optimization world, a number that might actually reveal far more about our stress, our recovery, and our biological age than a standard heart rate ever could.
And ironically, it is also the number that is most heavily misunderstood. People are panicking over it, comparing it on social media, and assuming that a higher score is universally better. But human biology is never just a simple math equation.
Exactly. Today, we are diving into HRV, heart rate variability. We are going to unpack why a perfectly healthy heart does not actually beat like a metronome, how modern life is silently overloading our nervous systems, and why obsessing over the wrong data might be doing more harm than good.
It really is a fascinating shift in how we view health. We are moving away from just counting the beats to actually listening to the silence between them.
Let us start right at the surface. If I look at my wrist right now, I see my heart rate, say 72 beats per minute. That is straightforward. But then I swipe over and I see an HRV score of maybe 38 milliseconds. Physiologically, what is the actual difference here?
Think of your standard heart rate as the speedometer on your car. It tells you exactly how fast the engine is running at any given moment. 60, 80, or 120 beats per minute during a workout. Heart rate variability, or HRV, is entirely different. It measures the microscopic variations in time between each individual heartbeat.
So, if my heart rate is 60 beats per minute, it is not just beating exactly once every single second?
Not at all, and that is actually one of the biggest surprises for most people. A healthy, resilient heart does not beat like a robotic metronome. The timing fluctuates continuously. One beat might happen after 0.9 seconds, the next after 1.1 seconds. That millisecond by millisecond variation is your HRV, and it is driven directly by your autonomic nervous system.
That feels a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? We are conditioned to think of health as stability, as perfect regularity, like a Swiss watch. But you are saying that a healthy nervous system is actually highly irregular and flexible?
Precisely. Biological resilience is all about adaptability. Your nervous system is constantly playing a game of tug-of-war. On one side, you have the sympathetic nervous system, your fight, flight, or stress response. It prepares you for action, whether that is outrunning a predator or just dealing with a massive deadline at work. On the other side is the parasympathetic system, which handles rest, digestion, and recovery.
So HRV is essentially the physical manifestation of that tug-of-war?
Exactly. When your nervous system is balanced and recovering well, both systems are actively pulling, causing that high variation in the timing of your heartbeats. High HRV generally means your body can rapidly adapt to stress and then immediately bounce back to a state of recovery.
But what happens when modern life tips the scale? I'm thinking about the late-night doom scrolling, the chronic work stress, maybe relying on ultra-processed food, or having a glass of wine before bed to unwind.
That is when the sympathetic system, the stress side, takes over completely. The tug-of-war stops because one side has completely won. Your heart starts beating more rigidly, more like that metronome, because your body is locked in a state of high alert. Consequently, your HRV drops. It is a brilliant, albeit alarming, biological distress signal. It often drops before you even consciously feel sick or exhausted.
Which brings up a fascinating, almost philosophical point about the hidden cost of modern living. We have engineered a world that is incredibly comfortable on the outside. We have temperature-controlled homes, food delivered to our doors, and endless entertainment. Yet, this same environment places an unprecedented, invisible strain on our nervous systems. We are physiologically overloaded, and our wearable devices are just blinking these warning lights at us.
And sadly, most people misinterpret those warnings. The biggest mistake I see constantly is the comparison trap. Someone will go online and post a screenshot saying, "My HRV is 120, and someone else will reply, "Mine is only 35, am I dying?"
I see that all the time. People treat it like a high score in a video game. If my number is lower than yours, I must be losing at health.
Right, and it completely misses the point. HRV is highly individualized. It is influenced by genetics, age, fitness levels, and even the specific algorithm of the device you use to measure it. A perfectly healthy person might naturally sit at an HRV of 35, while another healthy person sits at 90. Comparing your score to a stranger on the internet is biologically meaningless.
So the real question we should be asking isn't, is my number higher than yours? But rather, what is the normal baseline for my own body?
Exactly. It is all about the trend. If your personal baseline is 50 and suddenly you are tracking at 20 for 3 days in a row, your body is communicating something urgent. Maybe you are fighting off a viral illness, maybe you are severely sleep deprived, or maybe you are overtraining.
Let's touch on that last point, overtraining. There is a paradox here that I think trips a lot of people up. Even highly fit individuals, like professional athletes, can experience chronically low HRV, right? Because fitness and recovery are not the exact same thing.
That is a crucial distinction that often gets ignored. HRV does not measure how much weight you can lift or how fast you can run a marathon. It measures your current capacity to recover. An elite athlete who is stressed, sleep-deprived, or pushing their training volume too hard will see their HRV plummet. They might look incredibly fit on the outside, but internally, their nervous system is screaming for a break.
It is almost poetic. The body does not care about your marathon medal or your ego. It only cares about the biological burden you are carrying. And this really highlights where wearable technology is fundamentally evolving. We are moving past the era of just collecting raw data. Having 50 different charts on your phone is completely useless if you do not know what the actual story is behind them.
That is the frontier we are standing on now. The future of health optimization isn't about gathering more isolated numbers, it is about intelligent interpretation. How does your sleep consistency affect your resting heart rate? How does your daily stress load impact your HRV over a month? It is about connecting the dots to see the dynamic patterns of your biology, rather than just staring at isolated snapshots.
Which aligns perfectly with the philosophy behind platforms like OXYZEN. It is not just about wearing a sleek ceramic ring or looking at a dashboard of scattered metrics. It is about translating physiological data into meaningful, actionable health intelligence. It is about understanding when to push hard and when to gracefully step back and let the nervous system heal.
Ultimately, the future of health tracking will not belong to the people who simply hoard the most data. It will belong to those who actually understand what their body is communicating. HRV is not a clinical diagnosis, and it is not a perfect metric, but it is one of the most profound windows we have into the hidden conversation happening inside us every single second of the day.
It really makes you rethink what it means to be healthy. Your heart isn't just a mechanical pump. It is a highly sensitive antenna. It is constantly responding to your environment, your emotions, your stress, your sleep, and your life itself. It is absorbing the impact of everything you do.
And if we can learn to listen to the subtle variations in its rhythm, we might just find the blueprint for a much more resilient, balanced, and adaptable way of living.
A deeply powerful thought to leave on. We spend so much time trying to control our lives and push our limits, but maybe true optimization starts with simply listening to the spaces between the beats. Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden language of your heart. Until next time, keep listening, keep adapting, and take care of your nervous system.